I'm hearing, okay, you see, he's saying 10 sons. And then he said, so if it's him, am I? He's saying, look to me, you and I. Okay. And I'm going somewhere here, but I'm not going to go, may be too deep. You see, that's what I hear, too deep. So people want to switch off their minds, you see. So he's saying, am I, you and I, you know, can we not have that husband and wife relationship? Can you not focus on the worthy portion, you see, and then keep me happy? In the triangle of this situation, I have an emotion too. I need some stability too out of the two of you. I need some joy. And your role is to keep me in joy, is to keep me happy. Both of you are to keep me happy because I am your husband. I am your husband and you're my wife, you see. And Penina has children, so I give a worthy portion to Hannah. So everybody is happy. I'm here to make you all happy. And yet there is this rivalry, this indifference going on. So he turns the word to Hannah. He turns the word to Hannah and he says to her, am I better? Am not I better than 2 sons? Am not I? And there's another branch coming out. There's another situation coming here. I'm hoping that you can hear me now because I had my mouthpiece up. So there was another situation coming up here. He says, am I not better? And what I'm hearing here is consciousness. You see, it's the consciousness. It's the who am I. You see, and he's saying to her, am I? Yeah, and he can say it's a rhetoric question. It's rhetorical, or he's making a preposition, or he's making reflecting an image on her. He's saying, am I not worthy than 10 sons? So Hannah is to think about this. Am I not worthy than 10 sons? So in other words, there is a beginning. There is a beginning. That's what he's saying. There is a beginning. There is a start. And so Hannah has to start somewhere. Where does she start? Am I not worthy than 10 sons? You see? So the am I has great value. You see? And let me swing it in another way. He's saying to Hannah, how much do you value yourself? Because I am giving you a worthy portion. And rather than looking at that worthy portion, you're looking elsewhere. But it starts from you, Hannah. It starts from what's going on within you. What's going on within the inner mind of you. The inner chats that you give to yourself. What are you saying to yourself when you respond to Penina? Whether it's in the silence of the night, you respond in your inner thoughts. Whether you outwardly speak to her. You see, what's going on? What's that value that you place within yourself? That's what Elkanah wants to address his wife. You see, because it's that inner value that has the worthy portion. And it's that inner value that I'm connecting to, because I see that you are worthy. I see who you are on the inside. I see the value of am I. Am I not worthy more than 10 sons? He says, am I better to thee than 10 sons? So, in other words, he's saying, Hannah, whatever the circumstances, whatever the situation, however it may appear to you right now, we are not dealing with the appearance. We need to go to the actuality. This is me throwing in my little words here now. Okay? What's going on inside of you, Hannah? Are you not more worthy than what appears on the outside? Because when you sort out what's going on the inside, now you can bear fruits. And that's the afterthought. That's the aftermath. That's the mint after you've had your meal. Because last week I went on to read the Gospel of St. John 15, where Jesus speaks to the people, and And he says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, because it abide in the vine. No more can you except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. Okay, so now it's interesting how I've come on to that, because before I began the podcast, I began to meditate into this, and I prayed and I asked the Lord to show me a verse that I can speak about. And then he showed, well, I believe the Lord showed me verse 23, and that's really what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so verse 23 reads, And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good, tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. Okay, so that's the main theme of what I wanted to talk about this morning. So Elkanah, he's saying, Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? Okay, so the am I has a high value, and that's what Elkanah wanted to connect to with Hannah. Elkanah saw that Peninnah was bearing children, and he realized that the Lord had shut up Hannah's womb, you see. But he has the wisdom of the Lord in him, and he says to her, so he connects by letting her know, you are much worthier. You have a worth in you. And that's why I would say he's given her the worthy portion. He wants Hannah to reconnect with herself. He wants her to connect with her emotional self. You see, why I'm using the word emotional, when we go over to Genesis, the book of Genesis, chapter 3, you see, and you know, in chapter 2, the end of chapter 2, it says, you know, in chapter 2, it says that the Lord God made man from the dust of the ground. The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And then if we go on to verse 18, that was verse 7, and the Lord God said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. Yeah. So at that point, the Lord brought forth a word, and he said, it is not good for him to be alone. And I said that you can weigh the coin on either side. You see, either, you know, the Lord is now stating it's not good for him to be alone, or maybe there was another situation, another scenario. So the Lord wanted to make sure that he came in twos, I would say, yeah, or he had another. So, but then if we go on to verse so if we go on to verse 21, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto Adam. And brought her unto the man, And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of a man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Okay, they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not. They shall be one flesh. So how can Elkanah is saying to his wife, we should be one flesh. You should be abiding in me. Okay, but let's take it a bit further. So And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good, tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. So if we continue to read through the verses, we realize that the Lord grants Hannah's prayer petition. Hannah begins to realize her situation, I'm going to say, and she prays to the Lord. And in praying to the Lord, Hannah had to take off her focus from her adversary, Peninnah, and begin to focus on the Lord. And that's when she realized her true worth, who she was in the Lord. And in that now, as she focused her heart, her mind, to the Lord, now her soul was able to rise up to her higher source, the Lord, and her petition was answered. And over the course of time, she bare her son Samuel. However, she wanted to present the son to the priest, but she wanted to wait until she had weaned him. And yearly they went up to a place called Shiloh, where they offered sacrifice to the Lord. And on this occasion, when the husband spoke to Hannah, she said, but Hannah, and the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. That's verse 21. But Hannah, went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good, tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And I'm going to really pray and ask the Lord to intervene, because there is a lot to be said here. And I can see two roads here. I can go down either one side or the other side here. So, because both ideas that's coming to me has much to reveal. So this is the part now. So let me just repeat this. That Elkanah says to his wife in the fourth question, Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? And he's reflecting a word, a value, an emotion at Hannah. And at that point now, if we read the next verse, so Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh and after they had drunk. Okay, so and now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. So there was a change in Hannah. She paid attention to what her husband said, and I'm going to say she changed her mind, and a shift took place in her. And I'm even going to say a consciousness shift and an awareness, a realization came to Hannah, that she admitted that yes, she is to be one with her husband. She is to take stock of herself, you see. And now she began to focus on their journey to Shiloh, what the purpose of the journey, the sacrificial offer, and the vows that they are made. And she took her eyes, her mind, her negative emotion off her rivalry, you see. And I could go on to say, in that negative emotion, how it could have affected her entire being. It could have affected her reproductive system. And this is something that I see often in women's health. See? And that's probably why the Lord shut up her womb, because there was an imbalance in her hormones because of this anxiety that Hannah may have secretly been undergoing, because she's out of the calculation of the Lord. She's not in the joy, the peace, and the rest of the Lord. Yeah, she's in another part of the equation. She's in the adversary. So now she's in the deficiency. And the Lord shuts up her womb, because he's calling Hannah to come higher in Him, coming into the higher calling. All right.